I think it's almost the other way around. There is a troika. It's the ECB, European Central Bank, the European Union, and the International Monetary Fund, and they are busy destroying Greece. And Greece has plenty of internal problems, no question. They go way back. They got to be dealt with. But the policies that the troika is proposing simply make them worse and make it impossible to pull out. Now, if you had a capitalist system, you can't say, look, you lent me money, I'm not paying it back. You can't go to the government and say, I want you to pay me. But that's what happens in our system, because it's a gangster system. In fact, there's even a name for it by now. I'm sure Stiglitz must have talked about it. It's called too big to fail, which is a way of describing a government insurance policy. The government tacitly insures the big banks, investment firms. It says you make risky loans, risky transactions, and make a lot of money. And when it collapses, which it will, we'll insure you, we'll pay you back. We didn't accept it. We weren't given a choice. Nobody said, here's what we're planning and designing. Say the IMF, do you like it? That was never, you never chose that. You never chose it. It was designed and imposed. Is any country a country of justice? You don't ask, is a state moral? I mean, there are moral people. Yes. Individuals can be moral, and they can compel power systems to act decently. But to expect a system of power to act morally just doesn't mean anything. I mean, they act according to their own interests and principles, and that's as old as history. Well, when he was elected, I had no expectations for him, and I think he has almost no principles. I think he's an opportunist with no principles. But I did write that having a black family in the White House is a historic achievement. That means it's just for what it symbolizes and represents, and what it means for the African American community and for the culture generally.
Do you miss Howard Zinn?
Oh yeah, he was a close friend for 40 years. Actually, the families were, my wife and I, and well, I mean, I like to talk about personal things, but of the four of us, his wife and Howard and Roz, my wife and me, I'm the only one alive. So yes, it's difficult to think that everyone's gone. Much more significant is what young people are doing, and always has been. If Howard were here, he would tell you the same thing. He was teaching at a black university in Atlanta in around 1960, and Howard supported them, so he was thrown out of the university. But one of his first books was about them. I mean, that was the driving force of the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King was extremely important, great man,